Alright, hello everyone. My name is Jordan and I like talking sports. In this sports related topic for today, I present to you all yet another useless ESPN level stat sitting around the man of the hour, Edwin Jackson. In this video that I'm showing in this clip is footage from when he threw his no-hitter for the Diamondbacks, which still currently, what's only 3 pitchers currently that have ever thrown a no-hitter for the Diamondbacks, with him being the second one, and obviously Randy Johnson, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, being the first one to throw a no-hitter for the Diamondbacks. You may ask what ESPN level that I speak of, which is making him the center of this video, and that would be in the fact that Edwin Jackson, based on play-by-play data from 1912 through 2023, he is the regular season all-time leader in giving up one-inning cycles while also throwing a no-hitter in his career, because in this video, holding the record for the most teams played in an MLB career, and also winning a World Series and being an All-Star. So he's a pretty interesting guy, and I would like to go deeper into the process of how I ended up creating this completely just useless metric, and kind of just go through the stages and the particular stages that I want to break this video up into. I want to show the data collection. I want to show the data processing, which I used in the programming language of R to give me back my results from this query. And then I want to go through the analysis / box score watching, which I want to pull up the results from the data processing and also showing some of the box scores of his game. So even though he is the all-time leader in one-inning cycles, the stars weren't that particularly bad in my opinion. But I'm excited to go deeper into this, and let's transition to the next section. Okay, first, before I start talking about the full data collection process that I went through for acquiring all of these play-by-play files and data, I first want to explain what I mean exactly by one-inning cycles. Because in baseball, from Google, it says that in baseball, completing a cycle is the accomplishment of hitting a single, a double, a triple, and a home run in the same game, which is true. But in my created ESPN stat type of record, I define that as a pitcher giving up a single, a double, a triple, and a home run all in the same inning, just to set things straight. But going over how I went about acquiring this data, I went through to this website right here, which is RetroSheet, and I downloaded all of the decades from, like you see, it's from 1912 all the way up to 2023 for all of the play-by-play files. After that, because with event files, I'm not really going to show it in this video, but you have to get this one utility, which from their website, which is called BEvent, to parse it into CSV. I did all of that, put them all inside my program, and went to the next stage of the processing, which I process all of the CSV files. And now it will be a good time to transition into that, so I'll transition over to the data processing stage. Okay, so a brief walkthrough of the code that I used to generate my results. So I created this function right here, which is called perform PBP, pitch by pitch cycle analysis, and it takes in one of those files. You see later on I use it to take in all the different decades and then combine them together. So it takes in that, it selects these columns right here, and I have the the data dictionary over here on the right. In V1, that represents the game ID. V3, that represents the batting team. V4, that represents, I said it wrong. V3 represents the inning. V4 represents the batting team. V15, that represents the pitcher. And V59, that represents the batting destination, but I don't even use this because I use instead V38, which references the hit value. Everything is just one off when it's concerning this, because this is 0 base and this is 1 base indexing. So from here, I create a game batter column, which is just the combination of the game ID, the inning, and the batting team. So it separates them into half innings instead of just being the innings. I group by that, get a total innings count, total half innings count, which will be referred to as. From there, I group by the game batter ID, which is the half inning ID. I get the number of singles in that half inning. I get the number of doubles in that half inning, the number of triples in a half inning, and also the number of home runs. Then from there, I create a inning cycle condition, which has a, see over here, it has a 1 or 0 for yes or no, and the condition is if the number of singles greater than 0, number of doubles, and so on and so on, and it creates this over here. After that, it filters for only the rows that has the inning cycle condition of 1, which means it makes the 1 inning cycle query that I'm looking for. From here, I just use this to get a count of it, of number of times it happened in this, like, in the file or the decade. Then from there, I summarize it by grouping by the half inning ID again to get the pitcher, the number of singles, number of doubles, triples, home runs. Then over here as well, so this is just for the first data frame that it's gonna give back. And then over here, this has it where it ranks the, like, the pitcher to get like a count of the number of times in that decade the pitcher has given up this. It's a pretty rare when it happens as well. Then it returns that, as you see over here, I did it for all the decades that I have from the 1910s to all the way up to the 2020s decades. From here, I binded all the rows of the pitches count to get, like, a full list of all the pitchers and, like, their, what is it called, their counts. Summarized it so it can have a total count, like, to get like an overall number of times that they have done this in their career. And I did the same thing for to get, like, just to combine together like all of the decades to get a full list of every single half inning that this 1 inning cycle has happened. And from here, you can see I did this just to get the Edwin Jackson, his games, and just to show the all-time inning cycle list. I can run this right here. You can see that he is first right here, and that's just his pitcher ID at the top where he has 6. So I have it to him 6 times. And also have this graphic right here as well. And I'll bring it up. Is the number of times it happened in each decade. Not really much interesting. And also it's important to mention that this is pretty rare, since you can see like the highest amount of times it has ever happened is, actually let me bring up this data frame that shows that. Yeah, so you can see like for like the highest amount of time it has ever happened is 2000, and in 2000 we had 434,380 total half innings, would only happen 276 times with a 0.06% chance of happening for, like, every half inning. So it's pretty rare for it to happen. And yeah, let's go into the next session where we're going to dive into specifically Edwin Jackson, his starts, and how did he become the record holder or like the leader for this metric that I came up with. Okay, so something interesting to note, of the 6 times that he's given up a cycle in 1 inning to, like, a lineup, 3 out of 6 of those were only 1 single, 1 double, 1 triple, and 1 home run, which isn't really that bad in my opinion. It's not like, obviously, like, not like all-star pitching, but it's not as getting like as hard hit as the stat line implies. But from here, another thing that's also pretty interesting to look at, from right here, this date right here, this date, and this date, you can see that 3 out of 6 of his 1 inning cycles that he gave up in his entire career were in the month of, what is it, April? Yeah, 4th month of the year. It was also kind of like funny that I noticed. But now let's start looking at the actual box scores and kind of how did it go down. So this is the first game right here, which is you see the date on here, which is April 11th, 2010. And in the 3rd inning, he gave up a flyout. What is, like, 1 out. Gave a home run to Andrew McCutchen, a double, another flyout, a single, a triple, and then a ground out, which makes the 1-1-1-1. So it's not really that bad of an inning. And they ended up going on to win that game anyway, 15-6. So let's go to the next game. St. Louis Cardinal. This is him playing for the Cubs. I think I can't remember if I even mentioned it in this video, but he also is the record holder in MLB for playing on the most teams ever in a single career, which is 14 different teams. Going on to over here, actually he's not playing for the Cubs, he's playing for the Cardinals in this one. And you can go down to the play-by-play down here. You can see Edwin Jackson says Cubs batting, Cardinals. He did it in the 4th inning. Go down to the 4th. Edwin Jackson, okay, he gave up a single, a bunt ground out, a sacrifice bunt, a home run, a triple, a double, and then a strikeout and a fly ball. So he gave up 3 runs that inning, and well, they ended up losing that game. That was only three runs given up the entire game. So it's really not that bad of an outing right there, even though they did end up losing. So let's go to the 3rd game, which is another Cubs in 2013. I think it's this one. Hopefully, yes, the Cubs. And this is one he's actually pitching for the Cubs, because the last game he pitched for Cardinals. This time he's pitching for the Cubs. So 2013, it's in the 5th inning. I have it right here. So you see right here, and also in this game, they ended up winning this game as well. So even though he gave up the 1 inning cycle, this team, oh no, actually, I'm misreading it. They lost this game because it's 13-7. What am I looking at? All right, back to the topic though. So he gave up a triple, ground out to first, a double, another double, a homer, and then 2 singles. And then after that, I guess he got taken out the game because they pretty much roughed him up in this inning, and K-Lo came in to pitch for him. So that's probably like one of the worst ones so far. So Detroit 2019. This is a high scoring game. This is the one against the Yankees. Yes, this is the one against the Yankees. 12-11. And this is another one where even though he gave the 1 inning cycle, they still it's probably like bad pitching on both sides, but his team still went on to win the game against the Yankees. And this was in 2019, so it's not even that long ago. So he gave it up this in the 2nd inning right here. So he gave up a double, a single, another single, a triple, ground out, homer. They struck him out, then ground out. They still end up going on to win that game as well. Let's go to the next one, 2011, which is for the Yankees, and I think he's on the White Sox in this one, I believe. Let's go to the play-by-play, because he did it in the bottom of the 5th. Yes, right here. So it started off with a home run, a double, a triple, a single. They went to the mound. They talked about it, yada yada yada, and then he got replaced. But even though like they went on, because that's also another thing that I noticed with this, they kind of like stat padded on there, because since in the group buy statement it only takes the first pitcher. It doesn't account for a second pitcher coming in mid inning. But he still, from here you can still see he gave up, but it's just 1-1-1, and then he got changed out. So technically this is another outing of 1-1-1. So that would be 4 out of 6 of his. So even though he is the leader of this, it isn't really that bad. Then going to the last one, which is the Tampa Bay Rays, and what they called them, the Devil Rays at that time. 2007, and it's in the 5th inning as well. And you can see right here, top of the 5th, he's pitching for Tampa Bay. Robinson Cano, a single, a triple, a double, a line out, and a homer, fly out to center. And it's just like 1-1-1 across. So that pretty much wraps it up. If there's any questions, everyone are interested in inspirations of this or want to ask for more information, comment down below. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the video. I hope y'all have a great day and keep enjoying baseball. Thank you.